Welcome to another video in which I want to talk about the 6 most important activities you should not forget doing each week in Final Fantasy. But of course, to absolutely avoid burning out on the game itself, only stick to them if you're playing the game anyways, as there is no need to keep your character up to date at all costs, because whenever content is being released, Square Enix will make sure to have catch-up systems in place that take care of your character. Nonetheless, first of all, I want to highlight Eureka and its beautiful relic armor sets and weapons. They don't offer any battle value except for some niche level sync situations, but they offer style in big numbers. But to get there, however, takes a good amount of time and effort, and the biggest part of that is actually leveling your character's elemental level. So to get this out of your way, make sure to complete your challenge log, which is a Final Fantasy XIV mechanic that offers rewards, mostly experience points for all sorts of content. Sometimes adding a specific value for other forms of it, but more to that later. In Eureka specifically, you will be confronted with an elemental level, which heavily defines the power level of your character in there and how you can progress and continue through the quests found in each specific zone. And while it usually makes sense to take active participation in those contents you want rewards from, here it is a smart way to just stick to a weekly routine of doing these challenge logs, as they scale with the level you're pushing and you can easily grind down all targets in the first part Eureka Animos, even if you're leveling for further parts of it. If you have a tank or quick DPS killer like the Machinist, just grind down targets as fast as you can, find some good spots to drag a lot of them together, and overpower your foes with a heavy Magicka board setup. And yes, when you don't have a single clue about Eureka, I highly recommend to just go in there and try it out. Enemies are on a level, have elemental attunements, and you can answer to this with your own level, the Magia board, or a whole group of friends doing this together. And as leveling is key in there, stick to your challenge log on a weekly basis. Which can be said about Chloe's Wondrous Tails journal as well, received in Idleshire from the quest Keeping Up with the Aliapos. Like I always forget to claim this every week myself, this book is a massive boost to experience points if you want to level up your character kinda in the meantime, because doing all the tasks of the book will offer many different rewards, from Mandeville Gold Saucer points, treasure maps, up to full Mandeville Rinashila gear. However, the experience points and Mandeville Gold Saucer points are the big sellers in my opinion. Experience points for the time you're still leveling jobs, and MGP for whenever Square gives away free mounts and you're happy to have a bunch of these points available. And the numbers Wondrous Tails are offering are actually big, so don't underestimate it. The best thing here, if you're just in for the experience points, completing all stickers is all you need to accomplish. But of course, if you want to optimize your weekly lottery with this Wondrous Tails book, check out my weekly XP boost video in the description. But what about endgame gearing? Apart from doing your savage raids to receive the weekly locked loot, there is a good additional method I highly recommend doing every week, which are the 24 people alliance raids. Yes, if you did Aglaia multiple times, Euphrosyne is all you need to participate in. But if you run out of Aglaian coins as well, it might be worth going in there as well, especially if you want the glamour sets on top of your gear upgrades, as the Aglaian coin and Euphrosyne coin can be traded in against Moonshine Twine or Moonshine Shine to upgrade your Lunar Envoy gear. As for now, this is definitely the best way to receive item upgrades when being a non-savage raider, and doing this on a weekly basis together with capping out Alagan Tombstones of Causality to receive some already best in slot augmented Lunar Envoy gear pieces, this is the way to go. That mentioned, the most efficient way of capping tombstones are hunt trains that even in content drought phases seem to take place, and you should definitely participate in those, as you're rewarded with clusters that you can exchange against materia, or a sack of nuts that again can also be used to upgrade your Lunar Envoy stuff, so a jack of all trades farming method. But back to alliance raids, as these have a secondary function, as the weekly limited chance on receiving 620 item level pieces on top is also something worth considering, especially if you're just about to start progging into savage content, or just simply for the looks of the Hypostatic set from Euphrosyne or the Pantheon set from Aglaia, which are really cool additions to a well-rounded glamour dresser. So hop in there to receive all the weekly fruits of the recent content, especially as long as participation is solid, because at a later point in the game, queues might be horrible for these alliance raids. Alright, we talked about Mandeville Gold Saucer points, right? And while I'm personally sticking to the Wondrous Tails or the challenge log when thinking about these points, the Gold Saucer itself is a very good place to get a weekly push to your MGP foundation. Especially the Fashion Report or the Jumbo Cactpot are worth spending some time with, as these are by far the most efficient way to get a good amount of MGP. But of course, for more detailed info, check out my Gold Saucer guide in the description again. Also, if you're interested in a more universal payment method, Guild for example, I highly recommend to not forget about your Levequest Allowances. Spending them is not as profitable anymore as it was in Shadowbringers, but just today I gathered up some very crazy deals for exchange that can make you 5,000 gil per Levequest allowance, which totals to around 200,000 gil per week, which is a very nice way to spend the otherwise outstacked allowances for a solid profit. A video about the whole topic and my personal best big sellers will be up very soon. But for a tip in advance, go for high quality Endwalker or Shadowbringers meals that give you around 10k for trading in 3 of them. Last but definitely not least, even if this might be irrelevant to most of you as your Chocobo reached max level already, those that are still leveling their feathery friend, I highly advise to do the tasks inside of your challenge log for your Chocobo experience points. The Chocobo profits massively from these weekly tasks, and as other ways are consisting mostly of killing thousands of mobs, this is a big uplift and push to the overall leveling speed of your Chocobo. So don't forget about killing some fierce enemies with your best friend together. And yes, there are a couple of other things like the Domain Restoration or the Masked Carnival, which I absolutely have no clue about because I still haven't found the motivation or time to dip my toes into that form of content. So please refer to my other content creator colleagues about that. Links are of course provided in the description. Still, I hope that this video made you remember or reconsider one or the other activity you nearly forgot about, and that can easily be added to your weekly routine for a whole bunch of good rewards that will follow with it. So keep doing them, and until next time, stay healthy, stay capped, and keep loving Final Fantasy.